Satnam Revolutionaries, and welcome to episode 54 of the Heart-Centered Revolution podcast. Today, we're going to share one of the wonderful teachings that I learned from reading the book Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. Robin is an Indigenous American, and the book Braiding Sweetgrass is such a beautiful story of just weaving her life with the teachings of Indigenous Americans, and just is a really beautiful book. So I highly recommend it. But one of the teachings in the book that really stood out that I knew I wanted to share with you was this teaching of the Thanksgiving address that Robin Kimmerer's tribe uses to begin all of their meetings and important events. This idea really resonated with me. And so I can't wait to share that with you. At the end of this episode, I'm going to lead you through one of my favorite pranayams. I've been relying on it a lot lately, alternate nostril breathing. And I'm also going to share a little sneak peek into what it's like to work with Ramtin in spiritual counseling. So look forward to that at the end. But as you're listening to this episode, if you're enjoying what we're putting out, please subscribe and follow wherever you're listening, just so you know when we do post new episodes. We try to do it weekly, but sometimes our other businesses get busy, or, we have other projects that we're working on. And so we try to stick to weekly, but if you subscribe, then you'll get notified when new episodes come out. So you'll be sure never to miss one. All right, let's jump into our conversation today. Satnam, and welcome to our discussion for episode 54 of the Heart-Centered Revolution podcast. Today, I'm sharing one of my favorite teachings from Braiding Sweetgrass, which is a very popular book by Robin Wall Kimmerer. This book is about a lot of Indigenous teachings and is a beautiful, beautiful book to read. But there was one teaching that stuck out to me that I really wanted to share with you. And it's a teaching on gratitude. And so a lot of what I'm sharing today is from the book. There's a Thanksgiving address, or kind of a Thanksgiving incitation for gratitude. And a lot of the points that we're talking about are points that are made in the book. So if this interests you, you should definitely check out the book. I'll leave a link in the comments. But one of the points that the author made is that Indigenous peoples, their cultures tend to be rooted in cultures of gratitude. Like, it's part of the fabric of how they interact with themselves, with their community, with nature, everything. There's gratitude for everything. And then studies, now skipping it forward to like modern day, studies have been showing how much this attitude of gratitude, or how practicing gratitude can help you. Like, studies have actually shown that gratitude can improve your sleep, improve your mood, improve your immunity, can help decrease depression and anxiety. It can even help with chronic pain and having a lower risk of disease. And so I think with a lot of this trend is going to be so common that with a lot of Indigenous teachings and ancient teachings, that current studies and research are kind of just starting to get into these more esoteric parts of these teachings, like gratitude, or even the nostril breathing, like left nostril and right nostril breathing that we've done. Those are starting to show up in studies, and we're seeing kind of in concrete terms the benefits of these things that people thousands of years ago knew through intuition and divine guidance that were really, really good to practice. So the teaching that I wanted to share from this book has many names. It's called the Thanksgiving Address. It's called Greetings to the Natural World, and it's called Words That Come Before All Else. And so as the author lays out in the book, there is this practice among many Indigenous cultures to share or recite a poem or prayer of gratitude before you do anything. So before school, before a business meeting, before governments get together, they really take the first few moments to tune into gratitude for everything around us. And the author talks a lot about how this impacts both the speaker and the listener, and it connects all of the minds as one, as all the minds are picturing the elements of nature that they talk about through each verse. All the minds kind of become one, we come into agreement that yes, like we all have gratitude for these aspects of the natural world. And isn't it miraculous that these aspects of the natural world show up and support us in this way? So this poem is something that's recited before important meetings for business and government, for school. And I just think it's so amazing to imagine if you prioritized joining minds in gratitude for kind of what we share, the collective consciousness, before you go into something, even like a business deal or where you're trying to hash something out with the courts, for example, to kind of join minds in gratitude. Like what a different outcome and experience that would be than what we do now. It is quite a long address. It takes a few minutes, but that's kind of part of the impact of it. The author reminds us is that there is so much to be grateful for. And so it takes a little while to get through, to list all of the things. And she even shared an anecdote where when they do this practice, before businesses where there are non-Indigenous members participating, they'll kind of make a comment like, "Oh, wow, like you got to do that," and kind of not complain, but comment on the length of it. And then their response is often like, "Wow, like we have so much to be grateful for. Like it's a blessing that it's longer." So I'm going to read the Thanksgiving address to you, and then we can talk a little bit about it or talk more about it after you've heard it. So here it is, the Thanksgiving address, or greetings to the natural world. Today we have gathered and we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now we bring our minds together as one, as we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. And now our minds are one. We are all thankful to our mother, the earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk upon her. It gives us joy that she continues to care for us as she has from the beginning of time. To our mother, we send greetings and thanks. And now our minds are one. We give thanks to all the waters of the world for quenching our thirst and providing us with strength. Water is life. We know its power in many forms: waterfalls and rain, mists and streams, rivers and oceans. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the spirit of water. And now our minds are one. We turn our minds to all the fish life in the water. They were instructed to cleanse and purify the water. They also give themselves as food. We are grateful that we can still find pure water. So we turn now to the fish and send our greetings and thanks. And now our minds are one. Now we turn towards the vast fields of plant life. As far as the eye can see, plants grow, working many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, we give thanks and look forward to seeing plant life for many generations to come. And now our minds are one. With one mind, we turn to honor and thank all the food plants we harvest from the garden. Since the beginning of time, the grains, vegetables, beans, and berries have helped the people survive. Many other living things draw strength from them too. We gather all the plant foods together as one and send them a greeting of thanks. And now our minds are one. Now we turn to all the medicine herbs of the world. From the beginning, they were instructed to take away sickness. They are always waiting and ready to heal us. We are happy they are still among us, those special few who remember how to use these plants for healing. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the medicines and to the keepers of the medicines. And now our minds are one. We gather our minds together to send greetings and thanks to all of the animal life in the world. They have many things to teach us as people. We are honored by them when they give up their lives so we may use their bodies as food for our people. We see them near our homes and in the deep forests. We are glad they are still here, and we hope that it will always be so. And now our minds are one. We now turn our thoughts to the trees. The earth has many families of trees who have their own instructions and uses. Some provide us with shelter and shade, others with fruit, beauty, and other useful things. Many people of the world use a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. With one mind, we greet and thank the tree life, and now our minds are one. We put our minds together as one and thank all the birds who move and fly about over our heads. The Creator gave them beautiful songs. Each day they remind us to enjoy and appreciate life. The eagle was chosen to be their leader. To all the birds, from the smallest to the largest, we send our joyful greetings and thanks. And now our minds are one. We are all thankful to the powers we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help us to bring the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and thanks to the four winds. And now our minds are one. Now we turn to the west where our grandfathers, the thunder beings, live. With lightning and thundering voices, they bring with them the waters that renew life. We bring our minds together as one to send greetings and thanks to our grandfathers, the thunderers. And now our minds are one. We now send greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day, without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of life. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our brother, the sun. And now our minds are one. We put our minds together to give thanks to our oldest grandmother, the moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movements of the ocean tides. By the changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on earth. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our grandmother, the moon. And now our minds are one. We give thanks to the stars who spread across the sky like jewelry. We see them in the night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bringing dew to the gardens and growing things. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds gathered together as one, we send greetings and thanks to the stars. And now our minds are one. We gather our minds to greet and thank the enlightened teachers who have come to help us throughout the ages. When we forget how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to these caring teachers. And now our minds are one. Now we turn our thoughts to the Creator, or Great Spirit, and send greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything we need to live a good life is here on this Mother Earth. For all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds together as one and send our choicest words of greetings and thanks to the Creator. And now our minds are one. We have now arrived at the place where we end our words. Of all the things we have named, it was not our intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own way. And now our minds are one. So that is the address of gratitude that is recited. School children recite it at recitals. It's just part of their culture to acknowledge gratitude for the natural world in this way. And I'm wondering, Ramtin, like, what is your response to this idea of just centering gratitude before getting to business or before getting to like the work of the day?
Hello and Satnam, everyone. I think it's a beautiful thing. I really appreciate the poem and this subject and this discussion here because it's really the foundation of being heart-centered. As we show gratitude, we really connect with each other at the level of consciousness of the heart. The gratitude, what being taught here and discussed here in this book and in the poem, should be like this book should be taught in schools. I think. I mean, this is. I think it's really important to learn about how we connect as human beings, teaching our children the new minds and the new generation and the new consciousness as they grow to become whoever they're going to become. And within any system, having that level of consciousness within, that's how we change our world. That's how we create a transformation, by teaching the right philosophy, the towards the right level of consciousness to our children within the family, within the community, within our education system. I love any teachings, any stories, any philosophy that comes out of the Indigenous American culture. And I had a psychology class in junior college that was based around the philosophy and the sacred indigenous practices, and I loved it. That was just for me. That was really the start of paying more attention, gravitating towards spirituality. And in short, I think again, being in a state of gratitude, having that level of consciousness, stems out of our heart center.
It truly does. And in our culture today, which is such a consumer driven, right, advertisement soaked culture, the author really talks about how tuning into gratitude, feeling a sense of contentment with yourself and what nature provides you, is really actually a revolutionary way to navigate current society, which takes this feeling of, I don't have enough, and so I need to buy more, and tries to profit off of that. And so to center gratitude and contentment is really a way to feel empowered in today's society as you drop into your heart center and you see all the abundance that is around you.
Yes, when you are in a state of gratitude and appreciation, you are truly in the present moment. You are living consciously. Living consciously is really living through the heart center. When you dwell within that level of consciousness within the heart and you appreciate things, you are compassionate and kind. That's the basis of your awareness, your consciousness. You're living in the present moment. When we are in the past or in the future, we are in the mind. We are in our imagination. And how we get out of that level of consciousness is to tap into our heart center. So appreciation, showing appreciation from that gratitude level of attitude, we absolutely come to this present moment and live consciously. We are not persuaded by any conditional aspect of our life.
Yeah, and it does open your heart center and just boost your mood. You know, it feels good to acknowledge these things. And these aspects of this, you know, this address that they're expressing gratitude for are universal. It's not dependent on your individual situation. Like, these are things that show up for all of us. Mother Nature shows up for all of us. So the book I got this from, which is Braiding Sweetgrass, has a lot of indigenous teachings like this woven into a really beautiful story, actually. And so I highly recommend this book. If this teaching resonates with you or indigenous practices are of interest to you, then I highly recommend checking it out. And I'll put a link in the comments so that you can find it easily.
It definitely interests me. I haven't read the book, but I watched Jen read it, and she told me about what it was. But reading the poem and just connecting with it as such, it also reminds us who we are as human beings, and how multifaceted we are as human beings, and our connection to the nature.
I think that's a great place to wrap up our discussion. Well, that was such a fun topic to talk about. If you want a printed version of the Thanksgiving address, I'll put a link in the episode notes, and I will also put a link to the book if you want to purchase the book. The Thanksgiving address that I'll link is online. It's slightly different version than the one in the book. But, they're the similar, purpose and structure. All right, so let's get grounded to jump into our pranayam, or I should probably say ease into our pranayam. So whether you're sitting or standing, elongate your spine, stretching up nice and tall, feeling the crown of the head pulling up to the heavens. Let's roll our shoulders up, back, and down, very gently tucking our chin down and back so you feel a slight opening in the back of the neck. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. And let's take a couple deep breaths before we start our alternate nostril breathing. So inhaling deeply, expanding the belly, ribs, and chest. Exhaling, chest, ribs, and belly. One more just like that. Inhaling, belly, ribs, chest all the way up to the top of the clavicle. Exhaling, shoulders settle, ribs come back, navel back to spine, breathing all the air out. Now, keeping a nice full breath, we'll begin alternate nostril breathing. Once we get going, I'll talk a little bit about the benefits of it. So bringing your right hand up, very gently with your thumb, closing your right nostril, and then inhaling deeply through your left nostril. Moving your hand position so your right thumb comes off and using your pointer finger to close your left nostril, exhale through the right. Inhale right. Switching the hand so your thumb is closing the right nostril, exhale through the left. Inhale left. Exhale right. So continue this pattern where you are alternating nostrils. You start a new nostril on the exhale, and then inhale through that same nostril, and then just gently move your hand so that you close the other side. Make sure your elbow is just gently resting down. Try to be in as restful as a posture as possible. Noticing whether you have any tension in your shoulders or arms. Continuing with long, deep, regular breaths. So inhaling through the left nostril stimulates the brain's capacity to reset your framework of thinking and feeling and allowing new perspectives. And exhaling through the right nostril relaxes the constant computations and cautions of the brain, which helps to break down automatic patterns. Regulating your breath pattern in this way sets a new level of brain functioning, which establishes emotional balance and calmness after periods of intense stress or shock. I find this breath pattern is also a way to quiet the chattering of the mind, particularly the chattering that's related to protection, fears, and stress. If you want to add a mantra, you can inhale Sat and exhale Nam. After your next exhale, inhale deeply. Hold the breath. Exhale completely. Hold the breath out. Inhale. And relax your breath. Just checking in with yourself, noting any mental, emotional, and spiritual shifts that occurred as a result of this brief pranayam. If you practice this regularly, even just 3 minutes a day, but ideally 5 to 11, then take a note throughout the day and see if you notice a quieter mind. I know I do. Okay, blink open your eyes. Oh, I love doing these pranayams. I actually do them along with you, and so I get the boost myself. I get the benefit myself. So to just wrap up this episode, I want to share a little bit more about spiritual counseling with Ramtin. It's such a beautiful way to support yourself through any challenges you're experiencing or to have a breakthrough. A lot of us the programming in our mind can get in the way and we can know what we want. Sometimes we don't even know what we want. And you just kind of can't seem to get yourself there. Or there's frustration with, financial success or relationships. And talking to someone and getting support and clarity can really help. But the addition of hypnotherapy, which really helps you rewrite some of those programs or habits, like the thought and emotional programs or habits that you have, can really truly help release you at a rate that is astonishing. So I've done hypnotherapy quite a few times in my life for different things, and it's just always, even I believe it, I know it works, but it just has been surprising to me how quickly I can have breakthroughs with this type of support. And I wanted to share a little bit. One of Ramtin's clients shared a little bit about what it's like working with him, and I wanted to share it with you because it was just such a beautiful message. And if you've been thinking about working with Ramtin but hesitating, I really hope this encourages you to take that next step because you deserve it. Like it really, if you feel intuitively like it could help you get to that next step of your growth or get closer to who you want to be or where you want to be, like I hope that this message from Heather can help you leap into action, like just take that next step of signing up. So here she is.
Working with Ramtin has just been such an incredible experience. I came to him to find some space and some deep relaxation in my life as a mom of 2 young wild boys. I felt so overstimulated and overwhelmed that I couldn't drop into my heart. Like I was really having a hard time every single day, and my nervous system was just completely overwhelmed. So the first couple sessions, we just focused on that deep relaxation, opening up consciousness. The conversations that we had before the hypnotherapy was just amazing. Like our first session, like my intake session, was so powerful. I came home and told my husband, wow, he is truly gifted. I've worked with hypnotherapists before and it's been incredible, but this was different. It's the heart-centered revolution aspect of it makes it such a deeper experience. And I just love their mission as a family. I love everything that Heart-Centered Revolution stands for. And through these sessions with him, my heart is opened again. I was having a hard time dropping in. I was meditating for, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour even. And I couldn't get past the barrier of my own thoughts, my ego. Like it was so tight. And now I feel through our sessions, it's released. I feel like it comes up during the day and I have the tools to drop in. The daily practice that he's challenged me to have has helped in so many ways. I can't even describe it. There's been such a shift in my daily experience of my life. And I have our sessions and our work together to thank for it. I love our conversations in the beginning. He really opens my mind and expands my perspective on things. And then I also love the hypnotherapy aspect of it, just being able to drop in, hone in on something that I want to work on, release, connect with, expand on. And then lastly, just his friendship. Like, I feel like their family is such a beautiful family. Their hearts are so big. Their impact that they're excited to make is amazing. And that truly makes a difference, right? He's not just doing sessions with me to do them. It's really a part of a bigger picture. And I really appreciate that. So thank you so much.
All right. That was Ramtin's client, Heather, who she said we've become friends with. So I hope that inspires you if you've kind of felt that pull that working with someone might help and you think that Ramtin might be that person. We would really encourage you to reach out. You can do an introductory session just to kind of get a taste of what it's like to work with Ramtin. And then right now we have a stress busting session that is really, it's kind of like a process where you do a 90-minute in-depth session and then you get a 30-minute session about a month later, really focused on how do you get out of that stressed fight or flight, always worried state, always overthinking that so many of us are in right now. So those are kind of the two easy ways to start, and I'll put links to that in the episode description here too. But if you have any questions, just reach out. Ramtin, Ramtin at heartcenteredrevolution.com. All right. We love you so very much. Thank you for being here and sticking with us and listening to our teachings. We're just ever so grateful for you. All right. Sat Nam.